So today you're going to need a block and a strap, so get those handy. We'll start on the floor. So come on down, find yourself in constructive rest posture. We're going to breathe here. And just allow yourself to settle. Let go of any of the rush that brought you into the yoga room today. Connecting with the breath. Soft focus or closed eyes. We'll bring our breath into our abdomen and we'll notice the sensations in the abdominal area. Do a scan, a noticing. With breath and attention, notice if any part of the abdominal area feels tight. If so, can we use our breath to soften the abdominal area? The mind might want to jump in and start yakking away. That's okay. Just simply tuck it away for later. All conversation can be explored later. Right now, it's breath and attention within the body. Bringing the breath and awareness now to heart center in the middle of the chest. Find breath here. Bringing attention to the space between the ribs, the little musculature that attaches one rib to the other. Notice if we can find our breath and feel our way into a little bit of expansion with every inhale. Feeling the rise and fall of the chest with the inhale and the exhale. Perhaps noticing a lift of the collarbones with each inhale and a release with each exhale. Then we bring our focused attention to the tip of the nostrils. We feel the temperature of the air as it travels in, and notice the temperature of the air as it travels out. We notice which nostril feels like it draws more air in, and which nostril releases more air on the exhale, just noticing. Then gently turning the head slowly to the right. To center And slowly to the left. Bringing our attention now to our feet. Lift onto the heels. Notice how that tips the head back. Release the feet. Now dig the toes into the mat. That can draw the chin toward the heart. Lift up again on the heel. You'll notice this is activating a pelvic tilt. We're doing it from our feet. And then we roll down, dig the toes in, that little arch under the waist. One more time, the heels. We rest back on the heels. We notice the waist flattens out. We release back to dig our toes into the mat. And then we come to neutral. Pressing into the right foot, lift the left foot, lift the left leg in, come to Appanasana. Hold on to the leg, circle the ankle in one direction so the knee is bent. We're circling the ankle and then reverse the circle. Keep the breath moving. Keep a hold of the leg as we extend it now to the sky. So let the circles of the ankle release. We're holding on, our hands interlaced behind the hamstrings. If your arms feel short today, you can always grab that strap, loop it around to hold the leg. We're going to release the right arm, release the left arm, and slowly lower the leg full length to the floor. Keep the foot flexed. As we come back down to the floor, and as soon as the heel lands on the floor, we're going to slide it up to constructive rest. Pause here, notice the right and left side of the body. Now pressing into the left foot, we're going to draw the right leg in, bend the knee, hold on to the leg, circle the ankle in one direction. Perhaps like me, there's a little symphony happening in this action. And then pause, reverse direction. And now we're going to extend that leg to the sky. So the foot's flexed. So it's like the foot is standing on the ceiling. Our hands are interlaced behind the leg. Maybe press a little bit into the hands. And then we're slowly going to lower this leg. First, we release the left hand, then we release the right, and then we slowly lower this leg to the mat. Noticing the warming up of the hamstrings and the belly. When the heel lands on the floor, we'll slide that foot up. We come back to constructive rest. We pause here to notice sensation. This time we're going to be lifting both legs in, so draw the belly button toward the spine, engage the abdominal muscles, press into the low back to lift both legs simultaneously, if possible. We're going to extend both legs to the sky, flex the feet, and now we're going to lower both legs slowly to the mat. If at any point the body feels like it's tightening up, you can always bend one foot, bend one knee. So we're warming up the abdominals for future enjoyment. When the feet are on the floor, walk them back, coming to constructive rest. We're going to take our block now, and we're going to place it between our knees. And maybe it comes a little bit down toward the thighs. So we've got our block on the lowest notch between our knees. So our feet are going to be maybe about hip width distance apart, sits bone width. We're going to bring our elbows right next to our rib cage. Our fingertips point at the sky. We've got robot arms. We're going to begin a bridge sequence. We're going to do 3 bridges. So we're squeezing the block. We connect with the inner edges of the feet, squeeze the block, lift the tailbone up, let the chin move away from the heart, press into the elbows, breathe here. One more breath. And then we're slowly going to lower one section of the spine at a time. So we don't have to lift very high. This is a hamstring driven posture. The block is between the knees so that we can keep the knees in proximity. Sometimes when we come into bridge, people's knees fall together or they open up to make it easier. This helps drive the posture in a way that drives the alignment of the posture in a way that's better for the posture. Here we go. We're going to do it again. Fingertips to the ceiling, inner edges of the feet activate, squeeze the knees, lift the tailbone, tuck the chin away, coming up into our second bridge of the day. One more breath here. And then slowly lower one section of the spine at a time to the floor. And we're going to do that one more time because it's so much fun. Okay, elbows are activated. And remember, imagination is powerful. So if you feel like you've had enough, you could just imagine that you're following the directions. We're going to bring our attention to the inner edges of the feet. We press in there. We squeeze the block. We lift the tailbone up, tip the head away. 3 breaths here. And then slowly lower one section of the spine at a time. Let that block be moved out. Take your feet as wide as the mat and windshield wiper right and left. Not in a big hurry. A decent pace, but not too quickly. And then allow the head to follow the knees. And then maybe the head wants to turn away from the knees. Only if the neck feels comfortable. Back to center. Press the pelvis into the floor. Draw both knees up. Rock gently right and left. And then rock to one side. We're going to come to seated. We're going to grab our strap. We're going to loop it over the arches of the feet. We're keeping our feet about hip width apart. We're doing a seated forward fold. So we start with very good posture. Nice verticality to the spine. Shoulders roll up and back and down. And we hinge forward any amount, and we pause when we feel the body get tight. So the body's going to get tight probably first in the legs. And as we allow ourselves to settle in this position with breath, we might notice it climbs up into our gluteal area and maybe even the low back. But as the breath deepens, we might discover that we can come a little further forward in our fold. We don't force anything here, though. We just allow our body to soften. We breathe. And then we come back to vertical. We're going to release the strap. We're going to roll onto our hands and knees. So come on over, coming to hands and knees. So we're doing a lot of ab work today. To start with, we're going to do sunbird. Sunbird begins with the extension of, let's start with the right leg. Then we maybe explore lifting that leg hip height. Maybe not hip height. You decide what feels good. So the right leg is up. We're going to walk the left hand forward to the end of the mat. This may be enough. If you want a little more, we're going to turn the thumb up and we're going to lift that hand shoulder height. We're looking for stability here. So if there's too big of a wobble, just put that hand far away from the shoulder, resting on the floor. Breathe here. And then we release the knee, the hand to the floor, and we explore the second side. So now it's the left leg extends. I like to start here pressing through the heel. So the whole back side of my leg really feels the stretch. Then I'm going to lift that leg, see how it feels. Then I'm going to walk the other hand to the top of the mat. See how that feels. And then I'm going to turn that arm, lifting the thumb to sky. And again, the hand can always stay on the mat. We're breathing here. And maybe extending through that right hand and pressing through the left heel. And then we're going to release to the mat. And we're going to come forward, turning the toes under. So here we go. We're going to come up into a plank. Breathe here. And then we're going to come down into elbow plank. We're breathing here. You can always release one knee to the floor or both knees to the floor. Big abdominal work. We're breathing. This is where you tell me you love me. One more big, beautiful breath. And then we'll release to the floor. Create a hand pillow by stacking the hands, rest the chin on the hands. Let the tops of the feet relax to the floor. Scooting the hands back now, we're bringing them right next to the pelvis. Our forehead is resting on the mat. We're going to slide the nose up, which is going to lift the head and the shoulders. We're keeping our hands in contact with the mat. We're pressing into the hands and the top of the feet. So the hands stay on the mat. This is a core practice designed to work a muscle group in the low back that helps stabilize our core. That group is called the multifidus. And then we're going to release to the floor. Bend the knees, rock right and left. Relax the head and neck on the hand pillow. Then the feet come to the floor. Tops of the feet rest down. Now we're going to bring the hands right underneath the shoulders. So the elbows are resting next to the rib cage. Heads down. We press into the feet, the tops of the feet here. Then we press into the pubic bone. Then we slide the nose up to lift the heart and the head. We're in low cobra. Breathe here. Now lift the hands off the mat. Shoulder blades draw together. We're going to lift the feet off the mat. We're in a locust, and maybe the hands float back. And one more breath. Back to the mat. Bend the knees. Rock gently right and left. So we did baby cobra. We did low cobra. Now we're going to do high cobra. So again, the hands are going to come underneath the shoulders. The elbows come next to the rib cage. This posture, we lead with the nose. So the nose slides up until no longer touches the mat. We're going to keep rising, rising, rising. And if you have any pain in the low back, then just go back to low cobra. So we're coming into a high cobra here. We're going to turn the toes under, and we're going to rise into downward facing dog. So when we get into our dog, we're in an upside down V. We shake the head yes and no. We're going to rise up on our toes and then slowly release the heels towards mat. Rise up on the toes, release the heels toward the mat. And one more time, rising up on the toes, release the heels toward the mat, walk the hands back toward the feet. Bend the knees to be in a soft forward fold. We're going to rise up from this by pressing into our feet. Float the arms up shoulder height right in front. So now we're in a chair. And then pressing into the feet, we're going to rise and come to mountain. When we come to mountain, we're going to do a little footwork today. And do a little padabanda. So we're going to begin by digging the toes into the mat. So we did this on the floor, and it moved our body in one direction. You'll notice when we really claw the earth with our toes, it takes us forward. We can feel the quadriceps engage. On the next in-breath, we're coming back to neutral. And on the exhale, we're going to lift our toes up. Watch how that lifts the heart and activates the kneecaps and the back of the thighs, the quadriceps. We're going to go forward again, digging the toes in. Breathe here. On the next in-breath, neutral. On the next inhale, lift the toes, rocking back on the heels. Next in breath is neutral. Next exhale, come forward, dig the toes in. Inhale to neutral. Exhale to lift the toes. And then release. Now we're going to go vertically. So now we rise up on our toes, coming into releve. Feel the wobble. And then release to the floor. I'm taking my feet just a little bit wider. And I'm going to rise up. And then release to the floor. So one of the things that I noticed with this is sometimes when I'm coming into releve, there's a way that my ankle will turn in to try to manage the posture. I'm going to recommend that we go only as high as we can and keeping the kneecap and the ankles aligned. So really engaging the legs here as we hold this and feel the wobble. The legs are really getting a workout here. And then we're going to pause, as are the feet. So I'm going to just take the foot and circle it around on the floor. This brings more awareness to the body because there's 7,000 or so nerve endings in the foot. This talks to the whole body. Switch sides. This is easier done on a slick floor than a mat, but we get the idea. And then we're going to pause. And now we're going to do a flow from goddess to warrior two. And with this flow, there's going to be foot action to pay attention to. So when we come into goddess, the feet turn out. Then we're going to be turning them in to parallel. Then we're going to be pivoting on the right foot, bringing it to a 90-degree angle, and then kicking the back heel to the right side, or to the left side, excuse me. Then we're going to come back to center to parallel, turn the feet out, parallel, and then we're going to turn the feet to the left side. So that heel comes, the toes turn out, the heel comes in, warrior two. Okay, so now we're going to slow walk this, and then we're going to turn it into a flow. So we're going to start in goddess. Arms come to cactus. Really settle here for a breath or two. And then we're going to come parallel feet, and the arms are coming to the I posture. We're going to turn and pivot on the heels. Exhale, warrior two. Breathe here. On the next inhale, we're going to take those feet to parallel, come back to the I position. Then turn the heels, the toes out, heels in, back to goddess. Parallel to the I position. Pivoting on the feet, warrior two. When you come to warrior two, you can decide whether palms up or palms down feel best on the shoulder. The next in breath, we come to the I position, which our feet are parallel. Then we turn the toes out, come to goddess. Breathe into I, feet come parallel. On the exhale, pivot the feet. We're going to warrior two on the right side. Inhale to center. Feet come parallel, the I. Then the feet turn out, goddess. Inhale to the eye and pivot now on the exhale, warrior two, to the right side, left side, excuse me. Breathe into center, parallel feet. Feet turn out to goddess. Come to the eye, parallel feet. Then pivot to warrior two. Breathe in. This time we're going to pause in the center, hands come to heart center, step the feet together. And now we're going to grab a block. We're going to take our feet wide again. We're going to have parallel feet. We're going to take the block in front of us, maybe a foot or 2 feet, so that when we hinge forward, our hand can rest on the top of the block. So here we have the left hand resting. That means the left hand's going to bend. The left knee is going to bend. Left arm is straight. And we reach to the sky with the right arm. Breathe here. And if you don't want to reach the eye, you can always just wrap the waist with the arm. And then we're going to release that right hand to the block. Bend the right knee. Extend with the left arm. And now let's flow with this. We're going to bring the left hand, left knee bends. Breathe in to extend. Breathe out to release the right hand and the right knee bends. Come back to center. One more time on each side. Then bring both hands to rest on the block. Let go of the neck, shaking the head yes and no. We're going to walk our hands. So bend the knees. We're going to walk our hands to the mat. We're coming into a wide-legged down dog. Bend the left knee. Straighten. Bend the right knee. So these are going to get into the same muscles that Goddess likes to work. We're going right and left. Notice how the feet feel. The next time we're at center, we're going to bring one knee to the mat, then the other, and we're going to come onto our backs into constructive rest posture. Float the arms out to T. Walk the insteps together. Keep the insteps touching as we take a twist to the left side. If your right shoulder is flush on the floor, turn the head to look to the right. If it feels like the right shoulder isn't connecting to the floor, then just keep the head turned toward the ceiling. Breathe here. One more breath. And then with the knees together and the insteps touching, we're going to roll back to center and take it to the right side. So we keep the feet stacked so the soles of the feet are looking in the same direction. And again, if the left shoulder's flush on the floor, we're looking to the left or looking to the right, excuse me. If the left shoulder is a little bit high, excuse me, if the right shoulder's a little bit high, don't turn the head. Find big breath here in the belly. And then slowly unwind back to center. And both knees draw in. We're going to rock gently right and left. Then the feet come back to the mat. And we settle here. We began our practice in constructive rest. Gently close the eyes. Begin to follow breath first into the abdominal area. The entire abdomen. Simply observe and sense the experience of being aware of this part of the body. Then to heart center. Follow the breath and notice sensation in the heart area. That includes the lungs and the rib cage. Even the armpits. And then we come to the nostril. Noticing the air in and out, the temperature, which nostril works for more volume. And then we let go of everything, every curiosity and every wandering, every wondering, and settle into Shavasana, our choice of resting postures. The thought for today is from Emerson. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. to be yourself is the greatest accomplishment. Gently begin to deepen the breath. Drawing the breath into the fingers and the toes. Gently making our way to one side, gathering breath. And when you're ready, make your way to seated. We're going to gather by opening our arms wide. We draw all the blessings that already exist and bring them into our hearts in appreciation and gratitude. And together, we all say, Namaste.